Well, we've been inside the house for more than a week, and as you can see, Halloween has disappeared. It's been packed up and mostly put away, except for these, which I completely forgot about and now have no idea what to do with. I guess I better make some room. And I've begun to pull down the Christmas stuff and the Christmas tree. And although I'd love to tell you that I'm with you, and I'm like, it's not Christmas yet. Let's let Thanksgiving happen first. I live with Allie, who is already restoring one of my old family heirloom type of Christmas decorations. And it is all I can do to hold Christmas off for at least a few more days so I can film something in the house that I've wanted to show everyone for a while, but we'll get to that later. Hello everybody, I'm back, and I am alive. The virus didn't finish us off yesterday. For the very first time, Allie tested negative, which is positive, and I also tested negative last night, which is positive. So I'm gonna take another test here in a couple of minutes because we didn't want to just get one negative test and then rush out into the world and spread accidental germs around. So we've still been in the house for over a week, enjoying the comforts of home, as it were. Allie was going a little cabin fever, stir crazy. I was too miserable. After I talked to you last time, I had 2 or 3 days of like the worst days where I was just completely listless and sick and weak, and my head was swimming and my breath was shallow and everything, and my heartbeat was funny and the whole deal. But I'm feeling much better now, as they say in the Sixth Sense, and Allie's also feeling better, and that's why yesterday the test, and we seem to be in the all clear. I'll find out in just a minute when we do another test, but I wanted to give at least one more update. I thought I would give updates during the whole thing. In my head, I pictured that like when this, from the very beginning when we first had lockdowns and everything, I thought, all right, well, eventually I'm going to probably end up getting this thing. And I touched a lot of gas pumps, you know what I mean? And I was like, when I do, I had this image in my mind of like, oh, won't it be funny to do sort of a, like a crazy cabin fever type little series of videos, and it'll be funny because I'll show how miserable it is to be sick, and we'll just try and have a sense of humor about it or whatever. Well, when I actually got it, even though we had a mild case, and thank goodness, don't get me wrong, I was very thankful that our case was kind of boring in the grand scheme of things. I was way too miserable to do anything. I was too miserable to talk to anyone, do anything. I've been wearing sweatpants all week. Sweatpants are all that fit me right now. And it was just one of those things where it's like, even a mild case, like, oh, people were not wrong. This does hit different, you know? It's like a little bit of a different, kind of a thing. I had the body aches and mostly I was getting really hot and really cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. It was miserable. So luckily though, like I said, it was a boring case. Mostly there's a lot of boredom and sitting there and like, trying to read a book, can't concentrate. Trying to watch a movie, can't concentrate. But I'm sort of grateful for the boredom because unlike some of my friends and everything, we didn't end up in any hospitals. We didn't end up with any serious things. Now, having said that, I don't want the long form, and I don't want to overdo it too quickly because even though we're starting to test negative now and everything, I still feel kind of crappy. So I know you can like not spread it or whatever, but still feel the effects from it. So I still feel a little weak and a little lethargic and all that stuff. Allie, the opposite. She's ready to go. She's raring to go. She has got a superpower. Her Crohn's disease is an overactive immune system, so she heals fast from things. Whereas with my celiac disease, see, we're perfect. We got matching diseases. My immune system gets compromised, and so it sometimes takes me a little longer. That's why, like, in normal years, before all the masks and hand sanitizer, before all the carefulness and the distancing, I would get colds all the time. People are like, you're always sick. Well, yeah, I've got a disease that sometimes lends its hand to helping me catch common colds all the time. And so I'm really surprised still. If I didn't have it in the very beginning, like I was telling you guys the last time, I'm very even still, having said that, I'm surprised I never got it all the way up to this point. But it's like Wile E. Coyote running from a falling telephone pole. You know, you can run and run and run, but eventually it got you. Or like my grandma with the yardstick from her chair. Grandma's got the yardstick. Run, run, run. Bam. She'll get you every time. She'll get you every time. Speaking of grandma, this was my grandma and grandpa's Christmas manger from Anaheim, at least as far back as the 70s, maybe even into the 60s. Bunch of old plastic figures in here. Allie has been sort of restoring the moss on there for me. I've been feeling pretty mossy myself, sitting around here like a stone, having the virus and everything, and I cannot wait to get out in the next couple of days and just have some random adventures, no agenda, just to enjoy being outside like a human again. Part of society! But first we just wanted to make sure we used multiple brands over multiple days to check that we're not still infected. Well, I was feeling a lot better when it happened, but I already missed the first day of the Christmas season down at the Disneyland Resort, which I would have loved to have been at and had a reservation for, but unfortunately, I had the illness. And of course, the last thing I want to do is go down there and spread the illness around. And that's a rock fact. Excepting that one event, though, I suppose, if you're gonna get put out of commission, the time in between Halloween and Thanksgiving, when nothing's going on and everything's only sort of half beginning to be decorated for Christmas, is probably the best time for that to happen. So another reason to be grateful and not concentrate on what we've missed out on, but instead concentrate on our good fortune. Alrighty then. Time for me to pick one of these tests. What a fun one. Don't you just love sticking things up your nose? Allie is usually the one who takes care of the tests because I get a little overwhelmed by instructions. I know they're not that complicated. And you'd think I would have got it by now doing this all this time. Okay, here we go. Got to do this. Stick it. It's gross. Don't look at the nose. You can stick this up in your nose. And it's not the sticking it up in your nose that you're worried about people seeing. It's the, what if something's on it in between? You know what I mean? Like, stick it down in here, right? We swirl it around. Close that. Why am I getting so nervous? 4, 4, 4! Now we play the waiting game. I don't know how many times we've done this week. We've done this so many times, and because I'm concerned that I did something wrong, I'm going to make Allie double test me on another brand after this. But anyway, it's so funny because when they first started testing for the disease, I used to have to go to a place that would do the rapid testing and I had to pay out of pocket to do it. And that was so that I made sure if I was going out and filming stuff that I just wasn't spreading it around. This whole time I've been kind of concerned about that. Mostly just the spreading, right? So I would go and I'd go down to this place and spend however many $100 and get the test or whatever. And then they would come out, they'd come out like after 30 minutes or whatever, and then they would tell you whether or not you had the illness. And let's see, we're getting that first line on here. The C, what's the C? Does that mean? Oh no, that's the control line. The control line is starting to change color. We'll see. Anyway, and so when they first came out, the little home versions like this, the home rapid tests, I didn't know. I hadn't seen what they looked like or anything. And so I kept seeing various friends post pictures of it with like the 2 lines or something. And this one here has got, you know, the word on it. COVID-19's on there. But the first ones I saw didn't have that on there. And so I would just see people with the 2 lines. And I kept being like, congratulations. Because I kept thinking that they were expecting, you know, with child. It took me like a hot minute and 2 or 3 of those embarrassing comments where I was like, ooh, I'm congratulating people on having a disease or a virus. Oops. How long do you have to wait here? Let's see, 15 minutes. Oh, 15 minutes. Okay, well, I'm going to set this down. 15 minutes. All right, well, I'm going to be back in 15 minutes. Let's see if the other line appears. I like how I walk away all that time and it was 2 minutes. I can't concentrate on anything else until I know. Maybe I'll give you guys some music. If I can find some elevator music. We'll insert some elevator music here. Heal me, Crystal. Oh, heal me. Remember these guys? Oh, he's got cat hair on him. Ooh, don't get in the test. Boring. Oh, Teeny! Bootleg Batman is here to witness the results. It's gotta be 15 minutes right now. No! It hasn't even been 5 minutes. Oh, my perception of time is warped. When Justin was in Egypt's land. Let my Justin go. check it out. I'm Tony. So far, there's no second line on there. Seems to be good, about halfway through. I wonder why you can't just spit on the little droppy thing, like instead of swabbing. I wonder why you can't just, you know, that'll be the day. We get the spittoon test. Dude, that's sick. Look at this. You get the Usagi cards in there. Look at these Ninja Turtle cards. This guy named Michael gave me these cards. Gave me his old binder of turtle cards, which is awesome. I think he gave them to me to sell. Like, oh, you can put these in your boots or whatever. But I'm kind of like, yes, I will sell them. There's actually a lot of stuff in here that I had planned on just like, oh, when I found it in boxes from the old storage unit when we moved in here or whatever. And some of it's acquired over years and years. Some of it was like in a bunch of stuff people gave me or stuff that I had and old houses. And anyway, a bunch of stuff in here that I intended on, especially once we got that antique store booth, which I haven't visited in weeks now. There was a bunch of stuff that I had intended on selling and just passing on. But I held on to a bunch of it because I was like, oh no, I want to like show it to you guys. And so I have this whole other thing planned, which this year with Allie's surgeries and hospital stays and just everything going wrong. And then I had all those heart tests for me and just one thing after another this year. This year was pretty wild. Everyone else was like coming back to life this year off of the thing. We'll talk about that though in the future. We'll get closer to Thanksgiving. We'll talk about what we're grateful for. But we were sort of just hindbucked over and over this year. Anyway, there was a whole plan to do this whole separate series, partially for the Patreon people, which I'm going to get to very soon. I'm very excited to get to it soon now that things are mostly returning to normal. And, seems to be like we're more up and at 'em. If we can ever get over if we can ever get over the virus here, which it looks like, my friends. Check this out. Check it out. Give it a read. Oh, whoa, how do you focus on that? Look at that. Oh, yeah. It looks like I am in the clear. So, all right, so that's day 2. 2 days in a row. 2 different brands of tests yesterday, and now this test, and then I'm going to have Allie give me another test in 1 second. 2 days in a row. Testing negative. The C doesn't mean the coronavirus. The C means control, and you'd have to have both lines, I think, to have the vid, I think, right? Or one or the other. I can't remember. But this means good. This equal good. So I'm going to do the other test really quick. I'm going to get Allie to perform that on me. And then hopefully that means I'm in the clear. I still don't feel perfect in terms of like, I don't know, still listless and all that kind of stuff. It definitely gave me a little hit. But to know that you're not contagious or whatever, and you're getting over it, and you're going to live, is a very good feeling indeed. I've already lost today, of course, but that can't hurt anything staying inside the rest of one more day. The good thing is that I had time to work on a little bit more of the carvings I had in the garage that I've been intending to finish up for a while, and that was the craziest part, dude. While I was sick, like during the last couple of colds, I still would be able to come out here, kind of sit still and sort of grab a little file and do a little work, or grab the carving knife and kind of do a little carving or whatever. And this time, this sat here untouched for the entire week. Because I just did not have the energy even to sit up out here. I was like, ugh. Which is why I didn't share any of that with you, because it would have been really boring. You would have just seen me sitting here like, but in there though, with blankets. And then I would get hot, and the blankets would come off. Then I'd get cold, all the blankets would go back on. So I'm glad at least I'm over that hump. So if there's a little leftover listlessness or shallow breathing, I'm okay with that. It's, at least I don't feel like I'm like, permanently, like the batteries are all drained and my Walkman's going I feel like I'm going a little faster now, so that's positive. Oh, and by the way, not really the point of talking to you today, but incidentally, these signs, some of which are rather ginormous, about 4 feet across, they'll be for sale on the interwebs. Check out my Instagram for more details. What? I gotta promote myself. I'm the only one I trust. Okay, it is now nighttime, which means we've got through this whole day, and now we're doing a double test. You feel good?
Yeah.
How was COVID for you? Was it fun? What a fun one!
It was fine.
You were only sick for like 2 days, like really sick, and then you were fine afterwards. And you're like, I feel much better now. You tested positive. Mm-hmm. You were ready to leave. I'm like, no! No, just kidding. She wasn't going to leave, but you were ready to leave. You were all excited. And finally now, this is day 2. You test in the morning, I test in the morning. Now we'll both test at night. So we're doing double tests on double days. Because you did 2 tests yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here we go. Now, time to stick another thing up my nose. My favorite activity. I love it. I can't tell you how much I love sticking things up my nose. I might just stick this candle up my nose later and see what it feels like. Oh, I got it. Woo! I never even had like a science kit. I never even did like the volcano. And now just think about 6 of them? Mm-hmm. Now just think how many people, 4, 5, 6... are doing science at home. Fun home science. Okay, now I swab. Oh, right to the brain. Too far.
And then you have to twist it 3 times.
Twist it 3 times, then what? Why is there so much peeling involved in this? Okay, and I close this. Mm-hmm. But you leave the thing in there?
Yep.
Now Allie's doing it. She doesn't want anyone to see a stick up her nose. That's private. And now we gotta wait 15 minutes again. What a fun one. Another 15. Yeah. Okay. The timer is done. And drum roll, please. And the 2 tests are a negative. Look, they're like lollipops. Don't lick them though. They're covered with nose stuff. 2 negative tests today. 2 negative tests yesterday. I think we're in the clear. I think we are no longer in danger of spreading the big one around town, which means we can finally leave after a week. 2 weeks, then so many months of lockdowns, and then all these years went by, never caught the thing, got the thing, and it's been another week inside. But now I think we're free. We're free to roam, free to wander, free to get back to adventures. I'm going to be a free-range Justin again. How are you feeling? You feel okay?
Yeah.
Everyone was the most worried about you because they're like, oh, Allie and her disease, and now she's got the thing. And it was like you were sick for 48 hours. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, I'm bored. I want to get out of here and get candy or whatever you like to do during your day. So anyway, COVID is over party here. We got it. We beat it. I feel like I need a little sticker, like when you vote. It says, I beat it. I beat the thing. Mm-hmm. I still feel a little tired, so hopefully that'll go away in the next couple days. Everyone's like, you better take it really easy, though. Those first couple days afterwards, like, okay, I'll take it easy. I'll take it easy, man. And just go slowly back into life. But that's it. We wanted to give the update. 2 days in a row. All good. 2 days in a row. Good to go. We're finally free to move about the country. We've done it, gang. We've beat it. We've beat the virus this time. It's time to prepare for Thanksgiving. And if you didn't see our last big adventure, we went out to Plymouth Rock. Speaking of Thanksgiving, time to get through Thanksgiving and move on to jolly old St. Nick's time of year.
Now that we've beaten the virus, we've done our duty. Time to go home and
sleep well. See you real soon outside of the house.